Hello, this is Alex from phpacademy.org and this is a PHP video tutorial for the new Boston. Now in this video tutorial I'm going to be talking about code indentation, what code indentation is and why it should be used. Now for an example, let's take a look at the following file. I've got index2.php. Now this file works, it works perfectly in fact. Apart from one thing I've just spotted, and if name equals str to lower, this needs to change. Str to lower. Okay, so I always forget something. Okay, so the file that we're looking at now works perfectly. Let's go ahead and open our browser and test it. Okay, so let's open that up. Okay, so it says you're over 21, yes, 1 is equal to 1. So let's go back to our code and see why. So if the name, the string name to lower, blah, 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 it doesn't really matter what the code looks like, is equal to Alex, then do this, echo this part of the code, otherwise say you're not Alex. So if we change this name here to say Dale, and we refresh, it says you're not Alex. So the code works, that's essentially all we need to know for now. Now the problem with this is the way that we have not indented it. So there's no code indentation, therefore it's hard to see where an if statement starts and where an if statement ends. So if we needed to make modifications to a program, it's going to be a lot harder if we don't use code indentation. Now there's 14 lines to this program. Can you just, or this code, this page or script if you like. Imagine if we had 1400 lines and we didn't use indentation. You can imagine how awful it's going to look and how messy it's going to look. So let's go ahead and look at index.php, which is a duplicate of this. However, I've created line indentation for each, where it's necessary. Okay, so what I've done is after the first if statement, I've indented to make a new if statement. So if, and then inside here we've indented. And now inside this if statement, I've indented all the code here. Okay, so the if statement, everything by default starts on without being indented. We've made the first if statement. So the block I can already tell is just from the start of this I here down to here. So this is the start of the block and this is the end of the block here. And this is the start of the top block and this is the end, and then we say else. So inside of this block here where we're saying is age greater than or equal to 21, this is inside. And we can automatically tell that because we've got straight down here, straight down here, and straight down here. And then we've indented just the echo inside of here. So you can see how code indentation makes a whole lot of difference when you're trying to view a file. So for example, if I want to say if age does not, it's saying if age is greater than or equal to 21, I want to say, well, maybe I want to create an if else statement rather than just an if statement. Let's go down and we can automatically see that's the end of the block, and we can start typing on here. My text editor automatically indents for you. I think Notepad++ is a lot better at this than Context, as well as a variety of other editors. But now we can just type in something here, not over 21 for example, and when we change this to say 16, we know that our program is going to work because we've already seen the indentation, and we've created the code. We've created the program to work according to these, and the indentation just makes everything a lot easier to see. So always use indentation in your code. It's part of the coding standards, which is very important when you're looking at code, especially when you're going to be distributing code or you need other people to read code. You may understand how your code works and it may work in fact, so you might think, why do I need to indent and everything like that? Well, the answer is that if other people do need to see your code, or if you need to make quick modifications to your code, it's going to be a lot easier to see if you've used indentation.
Okay, I'm Alex from PHP Academy, and this is a video tutorial created for the new Boston. This video tutorial is going to be on PHP Echo. Now, Echo is a language construct within PHP that allows us to output data, or string data if you like, to the user's browser. Now you can see at the moment I've got a file open in my text editor. This is index.php. So we've used our .php file extension. We've set up our PHP tags that are going to let us enter our commands, if you like, within them. And in this video we're going to be focusing on the Echo language construct. So I've got the page open in my browser, or nearly the page open in my browser. So now I'm viewing index.php. You can see at the moment, obviously, there's nothing on the page because we haven't started writing. Now, Echo is, like I said, a language construct. It's not a function. It allows you to basically output to the screen into the browser. So how do we write this? Well, it's simply just Echo. We can either use double quotation marks or we can use single quotation marks, and you'll learn about later on why you should use them and when you should use them. Basically, double quotation marks allow you to echo out variables inside them. If you've programmed before, you'll know what variables are. However, single quotation marks will only let you echo variables if you append them, and we append with a full stop. But obviously this tutorial is on Echo, so we're not going to go too much into detail. Remember your line terminator at the end. You need a semicolon at the end of your line, otherwise we're going to run into some errors. In fact, what we'll do is we'll show that without that so we can see what the error is like in the browser. So I just want to say hello world. If I refresh this in my browser, you're going to see that we're going to well, actually we haven't got an error, and the reason for this is that we don't have any other lines in the program. But let's, for example, create a new line here, and let's just say hello. Hello again. And let's refresh, and you can see that we've got a parse error. Now it says we're expecting either a comma or a semicolon on the end of line 3. So line 3 is here. The reason for this is it's expecting it just before this E. So just before this E is in fact the end of this line. We add our semicolon in, and we're working again. So this is basically how to output data to the screen. Let's just refresh. You can see hello world there. Again, like I said before, if you do use double quotation marks, this is absolutely fine. It doesn't make a difference. It will produce exactly the same output. So within these tags, within these quotation marks, what can we actually do? Now we can also echo out HTML to the page, because as we echo out, it's rendered as you would find an HTML page. If we put things like strong tags, for example, around this, you can see that when we refresh, it's taken that into account, and we've made this text now bold. You could potentially create a whole HTML document inside an Echo, inside a language construct, Echo language construct, inside these speech marks, if you like. However, we tend not to do this. We tend to just echo out what we need. I mean, things like strong tags for bold, italics, underlined, sometimes even form data is okay. But later on in the series, you'll learn that there are other ways to handle this. But for now, that's basically how you would output data to your browser.